Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to This Daring Adventure. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited because this is episode 50. 50. It's amazing. I can't believe it's 50. So thank you. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being on this journey with me. And it's been a lot of fun. I have to say, this podcast is something that I look forward to doing each week. And that was my intention. It was always to be fun. It was always to be something that I enjoyed, that hopefully is a little entertaining and a little helpful. But thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. And I look forward to doing another 50 or another 500. Let's see. So today, the topic I wanted to cover is why you need a compelling reason for your goal. This is mainly to do with the big goals that we set for ourselves. Do you set big goals for yourself? Do you set goals, period? And if you don't, why not? And if you do, how do you choose your goals? And what is your reason for choosing them? I wanted to talk about your why, or this compelling reason. And it's really important because I think it's what helps to keep us going when it gets challenging, when your brain starts to tell you that it's not working, that it's not possible. What I think is important here is understanding that that will happen. When you set a big goal for yourself, and it could be something like doing a course, maybe going after a degree, some sort of sport like a marathon or a triathlon, could be doing a certification like yoga, learning a language, starting a business, that you really need to have that compelling reason to keep you focused and to give you that clarity. Because your brain, at some point, if not every single day, will offer you the thought that it's impossible, that it's too hard, that it's not working, it's never going to work. And I know this because my brain does the same thing. I can tell you that just having my own business, becoming a coach, doing the work is a daily practice for me. It is something that has to be done. I have to clean up my thinking every single day because my brain will offer me all sorts of crappy thoughts. And I remind myself why I'm doing this in the first place. And so when your brain offers you these crappy thoughts, and when things get challenging, and when it gets hard, you want to be able to remind yourself of that compelling reason as a way to motivate yourself, as a way to keep yourself steady and to keep yourself focused on where you're going and why. When you don't have a compelling reason, I think it makes it that much easier to quit. You're not focused on where you're going and how it's going to be when you get there. And it will be highly unusual to complete or accomplish anything big in your life without that compelling reason, especially if you want to enjoy the process and to be successful ultimately. These big goals can be very demanding and they can be hard. And so when that happens, you're going to want to quit. You're going to think about quitting. You're going to think about giving up. So you want to then have that compelling reason that you can pull out and remember. And I suggest that you write it down, put it on a sticky note, put it on your laptop, put it on your mirror, Have it somewhere that you can look at it on a regular basis, if not daily, because that will give you focus and clarity. It will help you to prioritize and align your efforts towards that ultimate goal, towards what really matters. You will be less apt to become overwhelmed and distracted. It's almost like having a bit of tunnel vision. You want to keep focused on where you're going. You want to keep your attention. You want to be clear about where you're going and why. Your compelling reason will also help you to establish habits and take that consistent action. You will have an easier time creating the routines, right? And taking the action that you need to take. And it will also help you to make the necessary daily choices that will support you in achieving your goal, right? Being consistent, creating those habits, taking one step, going consistently day after day after day, focus on what you're creating. And that compelling reason will be that driving force that you need. And if you can establish or decide on a compelling reason that is aligned with your core values, and your goal is reflecting what is important to you, you will be more inclined to stay true to yourself and follow through on what you've committed to doing for yourself, for your life. Right? In your pursuit of this goal, will be living in harmony with your beliefs. And this creates that sense of authenticity that will lead you to greater self-esteem, greater self-acceptance, and generate greater personal growth. So you get to decide that no matter what, going after your goal is worth it. You have to acknowledge that it's going to be hard, that it is hard, and that you're going to keep going. When you're tired, when you're afraid, when you're worried, when you're discouraged, you use that compelling reason to remind yourself to keep going, to take the next right step and the next right step after that. It can be small steps, but you just keep yourself going. Keep in mind, your compelling reason can be anything. You get to decide. It's completely your choice. There is no right or wrong, good or bad reason. You just have to like it. It has to resonate with you. It has to be authentic. And it has to generate that sense of drive and enthusiasm and motivation in you that will keep you going. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or says. You don't have to tell anybody what your compelling reason is. It can be completely personal, but it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or says. It's completely up to you. It has to resonate with you. For smaller goals, your reason can be just because it's fun or because it would be nice. But when it comes to the really big goals, the ones that are going to be the most demanding, the ones that are going to take the time to accomplish, it has to mean something for you. It has to generate that emotion that you want in order to move yourself forward and to keep going so that you can tap into that anytime you need it. And I would recommend on a daily basis. Your compelling reason is not a luxury. It's going to be a necessity. It will be the driving force that helps you to create that motivation and that resilience and that consistency that you need to be successful. Take the time when you're setting yourself a big goal, and I highly recommend that you do set yourself a big goal that you love, that's in line with your values, that excites you. Take time to be really clear on what your compelling reason is and why it's important to you. And this will make the entire process that much more rewarding. And it will ultimately help you to get to that place where you succeed. If you want to talk about your goal, about your compelling reason, about where you're going in your life, what you want to create, what you want to accomplish, who you want to become, I offer a private 1-hour coaching session. I will put the link in my show notes as always, and I invite you to get on my calendar, find a spot, book yourself in, and let's talk. Let's find out what's going on for you and how we can help, how we can start to move you forward towards creating what it is you ultimately want. Let's talk. I would love to tell you about my 3-month program that includes one-to-one sessions in order to really 10 times whatever it is you're doing by yourself. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm so happy to be here with episode 50 and to share this journey with you. If you have any questions, any comments, my email is also in the show notes. I would love to hear from you. I love receiving your emails and hearing back from you about what you've enjoyed about the podcast and what you've learned. If you have a moment to rate, review, share, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, I would truly appreciate it. I'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to This Daring Adventure podcast with your host, Trista Gurton. We hope you enjoyed the tips and conversations on how to get excited about life again. As always, you can head to tristagurton.com for additional resources and to book a one-on-one coaching session. You can also follow Trista on Instagram at Trista V. Gurton. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.